Hi, I'm Mariah Akers,
And I'm Jen Merrill, and this is the Crooked Fence Podcast.
where we share our homestead chronicles, lessons, and tales from New England.
By the crooked fence they meet, tales of grit and dreams complete. Fireside whispers, wisdom lent, homestead hearts forever bent.
Welcome to episode 2, New Year, New Goals, Setting Homestead Resolutions for 2025.
That's the right year.
Yeah. Why don't you start, Jen? Tell us a little bit about what's been going on.
Yeah. Last year was really successful as far as the farm was concerned with meat products. I had new customers. We sold 6 pigs. I can't even remember how many chickens I sold. It was probably 150.
Awesome.
Yeah. Duck. Just a few ducks.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of geese.
Yeah.
I think it was 20 turkeys. I know.
Awesome.
I know.
Look at
Very
you.
awesome. But stressful.
Right.
Stressful.
I get that.
Selling to people is not always easy. So my tip for that would be stick to people you know first.
Right.
Yeah. But we were able to start growing our different breeding programs. So getting Rowan and Gypsy, the Royal Pawn
Yep.
couple. And then I brought in 4 or 5, I can't remember, other Royal Palm females. So he has a little harem.
So,
Yeah. And then Lily and Gwen's first Kindle last year was so cool.
rabbit.
Yes, yes. I debated on whether or not to sell the rabbits a couple of times actually. Just
I
because,
understand.
yeah, I was starting to get a little overwhelmed with things and going to school full time and Shiloh and just piling on a bunch of different species of animals.
Yes.
But instead of getting rid of the rabbits, I started looking at where else I could maybe streamline things. So I did have some pekins, but I also had runner ducks and I had some Swedish ducks and some, khaki Campbells. And while that's all great, like diversity wise, it's really not necessary. And what are all those ducks doing?
Right.
For me.
Do they each one have a purpose, each breed?
Right. And so, yes, the runners and the khaki Campbells, they give a lot of eggs.
Yeah, prolific egg layers.
They're smaller eggs. But pekins, they stay close to home because they're chubby bunnies. And they lay eggs that are very good size. They look like real duck eggs. And they're also excellent meat. They grow so fast. Like between 8 and 10 weeks, you can harvest a
That's
duck.
amazing.
So I decided to get rid of all the other ducks except for the pekins. So that's focused. We have 2 males and 5 females right now.
What a lesson and testament to your homesteading that is, that you took the time to explore these different breeds and raise them, but then you realized that these other breeds weren't suiting you and that you needed to narrow it up so that you can focus on one duck that's dual purpose. And then that lesson that you learned from that. There's always a story and a lesson and things that we choose to do on our homestead.
And it leaves the rabbits here which I really do like rabbit meat.
Me too.
I really like it.
Yeah.
The last recipe was amazing. Because, I don't want to go to the store because I only have chicken here. Like,
Right.
you know,
You want variety.
I want a variety for my dinners.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, so on the Pekins, I had an amazing hatch rate with it was Betty, Betty, and Barry White. And I put 11 eggs in. I got 11 ducklings out.
Wow, that's an amazing hatch rate.
Yes. And um, so 3 of those I sold everybody except for 3. So 3 of those are out there now. Also with the geese, with the Pilgrim geese, I put 7 eggs in. I got 6 goslings, and the only reason why that last one didn't hatch was because I had pipped underneath and I didn't see.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it got shrink wrapped
Yeah.
basically in the
I've had that
shell.
happen.
I have those. I have I have the mother here still,
Mhm.
and those 6 babies, which are all now. It's my big breeding
Yeah.
flock for them.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I got some really cool chickens out of my, mixed breed.
Barnyard
But
mix.
yeah,
Yeah.
barnyard mix, which I like to call Homestead Vigorous.
I like it.
Yep, Homestead Vigorous.
Right.
Yeah. And I actually made some babies that do green and blue eggs. Right?
That's
I was so excited. I didn't
yeah,
even
you
mean to.
should be. Right.
That was really neat.
So the cross created those
Yes, it
to
was
be layers of
yeah,
blue green.
Americana with rooster with a black Australorp female and a tetratint female. So they made the colored eggs.
That's so
That was
cool.
really neat.
Right.
I love genetics.
Yeah.
And playing with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Another cool thing, so 2 years ago, we bought they were inexpensive on Wayfair, chicken coops.
Yep.
Not like the coop house, but just the outdoor play area, I guess you
Oh,
would call
okay.
it.
Yep.
Really chintzy. Really, really chintzy. Lightweight aluminum. The actual fencing material was just the really thin green wire that just it breaks so easy.
Yeah.
And what had happened was we put them out with the broilers, and first night bobcat,
No, no.
bam, just like that took like 60.
Oh my gosh.
So last year I connected with a carpenter, and he actually built a new chicken tractor that works amazing. It's a 12 by 12.
Yeah.
So I can put, 75 birds in there or so at a time. He also made 2 mobile houses you can use it for anything really. We used them for the pigs, but you can use them for sheep and goats and things like
Cool.
that. And you just pull it behind the 4-wheeler
Wow.
in trade for a whole pig.
How cool is that?
Yes.
No dollars exchanged.
Yes.
He gets something cool and you get what you needed.
Yep.
That's community.
Yes. And that I love the bartering
Yes.
model.
Me too.
Yeah. Especially when we're all raising, we have the same mindset. We're all raising our animals very similarly.
Yes.
We can trust each other for not beefing them up with,
Right.
antibiotics and hormones.
Junk feed and yeah.
Yep. So yeah, so that was my year. How about you?
So 2024, I mean, it was a good year. There was lots of lessons learned, but I will say, like mid-year through almost the end of the year, it was just stressful. It was hard, but I'll try to touch upon some, good key points. So Before in 23, we did farmers markets, and farmers markets are great and they're good for some people. Just for us and being smaller, it was really hard to be away from the farm and like the prep. And then some markets aren't as successful, and to put all that time and effort into it. I just decided because we got the farm stand to just pull back out of farmers markets, and that worked really well for us. The farm stand did well. I mean, I consistently selling out of eggs and raw milk, and frequently filling the meat freezer again. It's just really cool.
Yeah. Totally exciting.
Yeah. Lots of new life on the farm in 2024. 9 calves. How many kids did I have? We had a set of
I think you had 2
triplets.
sons.
Ha ha, you're funny. So for goat kids, we had a set of triplets and 2 sets of twins. So that's 9 kids. I hatched out chicks. I had a poor hatch rate, and I don't know if it was just my incubator or what, but I got like 10 out of 20. So it was not a great hatch.
Which is normal though, that's the
Right.
thing. That's
I know
normal.
having
Like 50 to 60% hatch rate.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think it was great.
I know,
I've
I'm sure.
hatched before, and I'd have more like 70 to 80% hatch rate. So I was kind of bummed about that because I was doing Swedish flower and another one I can't remember. Oh, speckled Sussex.
Oh, those are so
Yeah,
pretty.
they're really pretty. So I got mostly Swedish flower. It is what it is.
Is that the grayish?
They're all kinds of different colors, and I don't remember what it's called, but sometimes the female has the poof
Oh god
at the top.
Yeah.
Not everyone comes out like that, but some of them do. And I did have one that was so funny. It's cool. It's very cool. In 23, because we did so many, or in 24 last year, in 23 we did like way too many hogs, and we ended up with a lot of meat left over. I just decided not to do hogs, and we're still really great. We just used up the last piece of bacon not that long ago, so we're in good shape, which is about this time of the year you start to dwindle in your bacon department, which is sad.
always the first thing to go.
Yeah, bacon sausage, my favorite.
What? Oh, bacon and sausage.
Bacon and sausage.
I thought you said bacon sausage, and I was thinking, what is this?
Oh, like a combo.
What is
bacon
this?
sausage.
Yeah, you're gonna wrap your sausage in some bacon.
We could do that as like a little appetizer. That would be good.
And then put it in a pan and put some egg, and then
breakfast. Yeah. Don't forget the hash browns.
Or cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cheese. Okay. So, and then what else? Oh, so I reached out to a local rabbit person in my town who raises meat rabbits, and I had a few rabbits that I was like either trying to get rid of or figure out what the heck I was going to do with them. And I had never butchered rabbits. Honestly, at that point, I've never really butchered much of anything. I did like the tail end of a deer and like cut that down, but I did not do the gutting process. So I learned how to butcher a rabbit. 24 was a big year for learning to butcher, which is really cool. So I learned to butcher a rabbit multiple. I was like, can I keep coming back? So I really like hone in these skills.
Yeah.
And then I bartered beef or meat or something to get a breeder rabbit. So I got a breeder, and I got my first kindlings and butchered those babies and did it all over again. So that's really cool. I really love meat rabbits. I love the way the meat tastes. I just love the whole process and the connection to the food.
Yes.
So that's one thing we did. My raw milk took off like crazy. Sales took off. The demand for it was really, really high. Another farm locally here, they closed their farm stand. They stopped selling raw milk. So the demand was really high, which was incredibly stressful in trying to appease people, you know, and trying to meet with that demand. And then, of course, because my cow did not get bred back, she was it was like 13 months in lactation. And that's a long time for not necessarily like in the dairy world, yes, but not necessarily for like your homestead. And it was so humid last summer that she was just like, I'm done. I remember milking one morning.
Cutting you off.
Right. I think I got a quart and I was like, nope, this is not worth my time. I'm all done. And of course, I had a first time heifer like do that next month or like 6 weeks out. And then she wasn't a heavy producer, a high producer. So I was just like, threw my hands up and I was like, sorry, I don't have raw milk, which was really sad for a lot of people. I think, you know, they really enjoyed our raw milk. And I mean, so do I.
I miss your goats
get it.
milked.
I know. Right.
Sorry.
I know. The leading to goats, that's another thing. We're done with goats. I discontinued my breeding program. I will still have goats for the purpose of getting them in the spring and butchering them in the winter, so we will still have the meat aspect, but I completely discontinued the breeding program because it was just too much. And I feel like right now with my kids, so for listeners, I homestead as well as homeschool my kids. And they're at like a pivotal moment in time where like it really matters. And so that I needed to cut back somewhere, and goats were just they were just on the chopping block, unfortunately. I mean, I never expected that to happen ever. I mean, I've had goats for almost 5 years, and it was hard, that realization to do that. But I love dairy cows more. You know, you just go with what makes sense to you, and that's what made sense. Um, so that's another thing. Hay season was a little stressful for us. We had a equipment malfunction, just breakdown, breakdown, breakdown. Our season got started late, so our hay quality is not as good as it normally is, but you know, we're gonna make it. We're gonna survive.
You know how to handle that.
Right. And because of the breakdown, we got a new mower. So, and it's like an upgrade. It's called a disc bine.
Yeah.
So you can like mow your field, and it like I'm not technical terms, so it like plops the hay ready to go behind it and bale it. As long as your moisture content is in the right percentage, you can go behind it and mow it. You do not have to wait to dry it unless you want dry hay. This will make silage, which we love for our cows.
Do you wrap that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yep. And we wrap all of our stuff because even dry, because we don't have like a big storage for it. So by wrapping it, that really helps us out. So we wrap everything.
Cool.
Not necessarily environmentally friendly, but I mean,
that's
the necessary evil for what we need to do at this time. Yeah, maybe someday we'll have one of those you know, those big hoop barn things that's tall, so we can do storage of hay.
Well, that'd be nice,
right?
Right. Wonderful.
One day.
Yeah.
One day that will happen. Then in fall, about November, I bought some beef cows. Added them
little
to
stubbies,
my
right?
operation. Yeah, so Aberdeen Angus. They're, I guess, mini cows. Not
Did you say low line?
Yeah, so like technically they're Aberdeen Angus, but then like for a while the association changed it to lowline. I don't know exact details about it. They're definitely new to me, but they are, you know, they average and mature around 1,000 pounds. They're not super big, and both of my cows that I have, one's bred, one's not bred, stand at my hip.
Yeah, I really would. I need to see them. I have not seen them yet.
You need to meet Blizzard. She was a bottle baby, and like she's like, I will let you love me, and it's amazing.
Tempt me so bad.
So I picked up 6. I got 4 growers, 2 cows. So I have some cows to butcher, this fall or next spring or whatever, depending on how they grow out. So that's exciting. My own beef line. I mean, I do have beef as well, the Pinscour and Beefalo, a couple of them, but not many. So these ones are mine, which is really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, really cool. And then in 2024, about mid-year, my stepdad went through some health changes. He does have prostate cancer that has metastasized to his spine. So he was not able to move, to walk, to really do anything. So the farm really did like a complete 180 and everything fell on my husband and I. And it wasn't like a shared, there's just a lot of stress about who's going to do what now and what's going to happen, and a lot of uncertainty in his health. And he's better, but still in a wheelchair. Like, he'll never be able to be to the capacity to what he was doing before. So there's that change, and that was an adjustment, and I think that's why 2024 was really stressful.
Yeah.
Just a lot.
Transitions.
Yeah.
Figuring things out all over again.
Right.
How the day's gonna look and
exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of adjustments.
Yeah.
But we made it.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. One day at a time, one moment at a time, and we just chugged along. And I mean, essentially, when you homestead, when you farm, that's what you have to do. When you're in the thick of it,
you cannot stay steady or static.
Yeah,
it's always
you just mold
Yep.
to what the new situation is. And that's it. And that's what we did.
Yeah. You forgot you also learned how to butcher chicken.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, that was a really really fun day.
That was so much fun.
It really was, and it makes me want to bring others in to
to experience.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that want to learn how to butcher their own chickens or poultry or rabbits or really anything, goats, hogs, beef cow. I mean, those are amazing skills that have been lost over the generations, and so many people want to have that connection back to their roots.
You know what's really cool? You came here, I taught you how to butcher chickens.
Yep.
Then I went to your house and you taught me how to butcher rabbits.
Yeah. Like, how cool is that?
That is
That's
cool.
so amazing.
Very
and like,
cool.
that's what it's about. And that's what we want to be able to teach people and show people, that like, you can be self-sufficient, but where the real heart of it is with community, community sufficiency. And like, we didn't charge each other for that.
Right.
We're friends.
Yeah,
and
we don't expect.
Right. We gave our hearts to one another by doing that, and you showed me, and we brought a ton of birds, people, on like 50 birds is what I felt like it was.
It was a lot.
Old hens, it was a lot, and my husband learned. My kids learned.
Yes,
they
kids.
Watched. They were right here. It was so cool. It was a beautiful day.
It was.
And we did that, and then you needed someone to help you to do your rabbits, and I was there for you, and that was beautiful too.
That was such a debate for me on if I was going to be able to butcher those rabbits.
You were, though.
I mean,
I did it.
I didn't cry.
You did it, though.
I did it, and it felt good, and it's just another skill, building skills.
Yeah.
All the time. Right. It makes you feel so empowered.
Right.
To be able to do those things on your own.
Right. Like, I'm getting chills right now. Like, it gives you the goosebumps to be able to be like, I bred these two, produced babies, grew them out, and I butchered them, gave them love, tender care, butchered them in a proper, humane way, and put them on my dinner table. And I fed my family. That's where it's at. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. So this year, is going to be fine-tuning things. Especially for example, here, water and feed. Um, something that takes, I think watering takes me the most amount of time
Okay.
outside of cleaning the barn. I
Yep.
think watering takes me the most amount of time. Just sitting there with a hose trying to fill buckets. I mean,
Right.
you know, that's a lot of just standing there and waiting. So
Right.
we're looking at, well, we want to get a frost-free pump installed out there, but also wa automatic waters, which are simple enough, but also if you buy them, they're expensive.
They
So we
are.
want to be able to put those together ourselves and maybe getting some bigger automatic feeders because there's rats, you know.
It's inevitable.
And if you have, yeah, and if you have like big troughs, I have troughs for the chickens and the birds, and you know, you put all that grain out there and those buggers. So if I had something a little, maybe a little more enclosed, at least it wouldn't be such a buffet all the time.
Yep.
So working on that. And this year, while I was just starting to pick up speed with selling to customers,
Yep.
I have decided I'm going to be very selective about who I'm selling my meat to.
Right.
It's important that the people that I am working with appreciate all the effort
Right.
and the quality of the food that they're getting.
Yeah.
And I think just keeping it small, and that's what I want to do anyway. I don't want to be a big, meat producing farm.
Yeah.
My goal in selling meat is to just offset my own costs.
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
And there are people out there that appreciate that.
yes.
But you know what? That just brings a point that I think that we need to touch upon. I think it's a big thing that a lot of people like us that are just trying to offset, they want to sell meat, but there's an education component of it. And maybe if we put an episode together about the education of what a live weight is compared to a hanging weight and the breakdown of what you get, I think that might be a fun episode to do.
That is an excellent idea.
Yeah.
And I think other people,
they could use
trying to do,
right.
trying to do what we're doing
Yes.
in small meat sales, just so that they can educate their potential customers.
Absolutely. And it's definitely something that you have to take the time to do is educate your buyer.
And one thing to make sure, I was thinking of this the other day, one thing to make sure your customers realize is they're not buying a whole or half share of an animal to save money. They're buying it to know where their meat is coming from, what the animals have been fed, eating local.
Yes. Know your
It's not to save money.
Know your food. Right. It's a choice. You are choosing what you're putting in your body, and it's an educational choice for sure. Knowing that you want to know where it comes from. I like that. Yeah, not necessarily to save money.
I think that's something I'm actually going to put on my website is do not, or write a blog about, is do not buy a CSA or do not buy a whole half share of a meat animal to save money. That's not the point.
It's a conscious choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not gouging anyone. I didn't make a penny off of my pork last year. Nothing.
That's not.
So, no, it's not good.
No.
It's, it's just
Lessons learned. Yeah. Take it from us.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you got?
Right. What do I got going on this year? Well, things that I have learned is that having like these goals to like really pinpoint your year and guide you through it and pick only a few. That is what I've learned. And like those are your 3 focus that you're going to do and everything else will just trickle around it. So I was talking with my husband Jim, and I'm like, we just need to pick the 3 things that we need to get done that are the most important for us. And that is fencing.
Yeah.
Fencing
Mm-hmm.
for extra pastures to then initiate our initiative of Silvopasture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to take a good chunk of our time and planning out where we want them to go. And some of them are going to be attached to already existing pastures so that the flow of traffic can be, harmonious.
Mm-hmm. You're moving animals into different spaces.
Yes. And then another goal is to finally roof our sap house. So we do maple syrup, and this poor little sap house has been around for like 16 years.
Oh my.
15 or 16 years. It's been framed and the roof put up. That was the original piece. And then we sided it with wood, but we've never actually put a roof on it. So many times we have actually put the paper on, but now we're at to the point where we have to replace the plywood that's up there.
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
that is a very important goal
Yeah.
that we need to get done.
You just reminded me I have to shingle the goat barn.
Oh, there you
Dang.
go. See? Reminders.
Add to the list.
Yeah. And then the last thing that's really important for us is food storage. So we want to grow a big garden. Obviously, that is always our goals with garden, is to have enough food to last us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But with storing a large amount of food, like, you just could have waste if it's not at the right temperatures. So I can store squash till about February, March, and potatoes if I'm lucky.
It's pretty close.
You're right. It is, but I want like not in great condition.
Yeah.
So we want to cut off a section in our basement. Our friend was so lovely. He had built a little cool room for Ashley, and there's leftover panels, so we took them. So we want to take those cool room panels, make a door, and then you put a vent in and out.
Yes.
And then maybe a cool bot or something in there to really keep the temperature where it needs to be.
Humidity.
Yeah, so a root cellar in our basement. Yeah, so more functional for, having all the food stay good.
Yeah.
So that's like our 3 main goals. We've been living on this property for 10 years this year, and we live in the duplex. The duplex is where we live, and one side's a rental where my parents live, and the other side is our side, which is lovely. It's just so small, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You make do.
Mm-hmm.
But we really want our house. We want to build a house, so we want to start thinking about how that's going to happen. Maybe some planning.
Yeah, definitely need planning.
Yeah. So we'll kind of be dabbling in that this year.
Set up your go from here to here to here to here efficiencies. Weren't you talking about that?
Yeah. Just very methodical.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has its place, but just to get the building plans or something started. We'll see. Then the other important thing is we haven't taken a vacation since 2022, and we work our butts off all the time. Go, go, go. So we said we're going to take a vacation.
That's awesome.
So I don't think we're going to go far,
mm-hmm.
but I think we'll go maybe to Acadia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been.
I haven't been there in years. I used to go every year for my birthday.
Yeah, it would just be so cool. Hike.
It's beautiful.
Be in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just quiet the mind. Mm-hmm. So vacation is very important for my husband.
You have to go to Thunderhole.
Okay, never been there.
The waves come into this like rock cavern basically, and just it rumbles just like thunder.
Wow. All right. That definitely makes me want to go. Yeah. Let's see what else. No goats. Talked about that. Having no goats this year, just the meat goats that we will raise for partial year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've decided to have more fun this year.
That's a great plan.
Right? Yep, I've decided that going for a walk or
Ice
going for a hike.
skating.
We just went ice skating
Yeah.
yesterday with some friends and spent 2 hours, maybe almost 3 hours out on the ice, and it was amazing. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
It brought me so much peace,
Yeah.
and I loved that.
And fresh air and
Yes,
health.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And then I've decided to be more happy. That's another goal. To make a conscious choice to be happy
Mhm.
and not be miserable by some of the things that occurred over 2024 and not let them, really sit in my heart. I'm going to have a happy heart
Yeah.
this year.
That's not an easy task
Exactly.
because
That's
you've
right.
been living X number of years with your who you are and
Mhm.
trying to change something, your thought process on all
Yeah.
of that is.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly is to grow a garden so big for my family and then maybe to have extra to share.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
as together, it's been a lot over the years. My husband, with his job, he is a commercial residential tree climber and runs the company, and he's very busy, especially during the summer. So he's tired.
Mhm.
So it's been a lot of me, and it needs to be a collaborative
Yeah.
of our family, a way for us to connect to each other and to really enjoy each other's company and get our hands on the dirt.
Yeah. With the boys getting older every year, it's
Right.
probably more helpful
Absolutely.
as time progresses.
Yes. And to teach them those skills.
Mhm.
They need those skills, or at least the experiences. So when they're adults, they can be like, oh yeah, we helped mom and dad in the garden. And I know how to cut an asparagus. I know how to start some seeds. I know how to plant this. I can do this.
Yes. How about making old lawnmowers run?
That would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He loves
All
to tinker
mechanical.
on things.
Yeah. Shiloh being 4, it's still gonna be a bit of time, but she comes out, she likes to go look for the eggs
Yep.
and do the feed and water for the birds.
Yep.
So
She can plant seeds.
oh
Peas
yes, this
are
year
the funnest thing.
this year is now she'll be 4 next month. So this year is really I think going to be where she may have a little more attention span
Yep.
to do those things with her.
Mhm.
She loves spending time with me. Anyway,
Yes.
she's just such a free spirit. She
does her own thing.
Yeah, she just run off. Like yesterday we were going to run errands and she thinks it's so hilarious to bolt out the door and then head for the hills. And she got way ahead of me and she just having all this space is so awesome for her. So
I agree.
yeah.
To be in nature.
Yeah.
To connect with Mother.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Sit out in the middle of the woods and just picks up sticks and starts telling stories.
I
And
love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I take her mushroom foraging with me.
Even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She has gone, oh, mommy, look, and picked one up and went to put it in her mouth. I'm like, no,
don't touch that one.
Don't eat anything unless I say it's okay.
Right.
Let's see, what else do we have going on?
What
Oh,
you
well,
got going on?
well, our Silvopasture, so we don't even have one started yet.
That's right. You had the forester come out, right?
Yeah, so the forester came out. We walked the property. They've already so there's like 215 acres. They're going to be working on all of it. They're not clear cutting anything.
Right.
It's full on like forest management.
Intentional.
Yes, intentional.
Yes.
Selecting trees that are gonna live through, climate changes and all that stuff. And also keeping things that like some sugaring maples,
Yes.
some beech because they do produce nuts that pigs like.
Yes.
The oaks, that sort of thing. We're not keeping a ton of softwoods, but white pines are really hardy for the changes in the climate that are coming. So there will be some white pines. But anyway, Yeah, so they're supposed to start cutting anytime now. Anytime now. And there's a 10-acre section down in the bottom right where they're going to be building out a silvopasture with um like a 20-foot swath around it
Okay.
so I can fence it.
Yeah.
They're actually going to leave fencing or post trees.
Oh yeah, like cut them. They're
Yeah.
still in the ground and cut
Yes.
them as a post.
Yes.
That's amazing.
How cool is that going
Yeah.
to be? So, not this year, but I think the end of this year is going to be when I'm going to start looking for my spring lambs because I graduate from UNH 2026. I know, next year. Oh my gosh. So that's amazing. Um, I also want to keep up on that the bartering, the
Yes.
community,
Yes.
you know, like
I'm here for that.
for example, well, Sean and Ashley, I wanted some syrup
Yep.
and I have pork. I don't
Yep.
have syrup. So
Yep.
I'm going to be trading them pork for syrup.
Amazing.
You know?
What
Love that.
about you and I? We trade
Oh, yes.
raw milk and eggs because
Yes.
my chickens stink
Yeah.
right now.
Because you love chickens and
Yeah.
they love you.
Oh my gosh. Chickens are not my favorite livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing to be able to have connections and to be able to trade. There's no dollar amount. But what's really cool is when people do buy from us, that's keeping their dollars in our local community. That's where it's at too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So cool.
And then this podcast.
Right.
We're doing this
New
is
beginning.
right. This is one of our goals is to share the stories and help others learn. And on that note, obviously anyone listening that wants specific episodes,
Absolutely.
they'll be able to reach out to us.
Yeah. Or if they know someone cool who homesteads too, that could come on the show.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That can talk about a skill or
absolutely,
you know, life lessons learned and
we love stories.
Yes, we do. I think we can talk all the time.
Sure can.
So on the next episode, we are talking about keeping our animals warm.
Winterproofing.
Yes, winterproofing.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
See you next time.
By the